What up, yo?
A ghost.
A ghost.
What up, yo? Hey, what's up, pups? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's a podcast that takes a gander what's happening in pop culture. This can range from video games, movies, anime, whatever you enjoy, with the goal to stay up to date at what's happening and hopefully to inspire people and to remind them that back in the day, we could be entertained for entertainment's sake, to rekindle that nostalgic flame, which I think is dying because of woke bullshit. So rather blunt about that, but whatever. We look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and even sometimes the spiritual elements of things when I kind of spot it in terms of like scripture and whatnot. I like studying that stuff too. If you're new to the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Right now we are on YouTube, we are on Rumble, and we are on X. So you can follow me on any of those platforms. And then in the descriptions of YouTube and Rumble should be my other social media that honestly I hardly ever use, to be honest, but they're there. I mean, maybe one other one is like Instagram, or over on X. You can check my bio, and there should be my link tree that leads to those as well. Give it a like, give it a like, as in this video. Smash the subscribe button, punch the thumbs up. I had a brain fart there. And ring the bell to get notified when I go live, whether it's doing this show, the Power Up Podcast show, whether solo or like with a guest. I try to book guests and hang out with peeps there, or doing game streaming, which I do Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and over the weekends, usually around 8 p.m. Central Time, so with the weekend a little earlier, like 2 p.m., and then maybe later that night. Also trying to start up more YouTube shorts, so you can always check those out as well. And if you want to go beyond just pushing the algorithm in terms of helping boost the channel, you can always check out the membership and subscription tiers over on YouTube and Rumble. And I also have a locals, or do I have like a, I thought I had something else. Oh yeah, stream elements like tips. If you don't want YouTube or big tech taking any of that stuff. What's up, Scotty? Yo, gave the stream a like. How are you, Greg? I am good. Tired, but good. Woke up this morning because I had to go to the dentist. That's always fun, right? Luckily, teeth got a nice bill of health, so that's always good. Aside from some sensitive gums, which I've always been prone to having, we're doing good. No cavities. Alrighty, let's hop into this. So we've got a bunch of articles that's caught my fancy, if you will. The main one, obviously, is the Nintendo Switch talk. We've covered some articles talking about the supposed leaks and everything, and now supposedly the Nintendo Switch 2, at least that's what people are calling it. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed yet, but all the more reason to stay tuned, because I guess people are saying this Thursday, January 16th, Nintendo's going to be making an announcement about that. So we'll see what that all in detail. The dentist is ever fun. No, it's not. It's absolutely terrible. I do not like going to the dentist just because, I mean, let's face it. Instruments and scraping and all that stuff, it's never pleasant. Luckily mine is quite gentle with stuff, but just the concept always sucks. Well, bam. All right, so this was kind of talked about a couple days ago here. I usually, when I look at the news, just because I do shows every other day, I usually look within the past 2 days and whatnot. So some people might have seen this. Tom Sweeney accuses big tech of faking manga support. This comes from the website Niche Gamer. So Epic Gamer founder and CEO, did I say Todd Sweeney? Tim Sweeney. I think I said Todd Sweeney because there's Sweeney Todd. So once again, my dyslexia rearing its ugly head and being annoying. has come out swinging against big tech companies for, in his opinion, sucking up to U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. First posted on social media platform X, Tim said, after years of pretending to be Democrats, big tech leaders are now pretending to be Republicans in hope of curing favor with the new administration. Well, let's be real. A lot of the big tech leaders are more so Democrats than there are Republicans. Not saying that there aren't any, or if anything, they're libertarian or in the middle. Went on to say, beware of the scummy monopoly campaign to vilify competition law as they rip off customers and crush competitors. He would then go on to elaborate in several responses and threads throughout the day, talking about how big tech companies apparently play both sides. I do agree with that. That is true. Previously demonizing Trump and his base. They sure did. In recent months, nearly all of the big tech figures have lined up to donate money to Trump's inauguration party. This includes Meta founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who donated $1 million to Trump after previously having banned him years ago from Facebook. Of course, because they don't want to feel his fury. Which really, let's be real. If big tech wasn't sleeping with Democrats, they would just absolutely destroy the big tech. And if you went against them, they would absolutely destroy you. So they're just trying to rub soldiers to avoid Trump's wrath, I guess you could say. But in all honesty, what would he like? I feel like he has more important things to worry about than big tech. I mean, don't get me wrong, big tech is definitely a big issue. But I mean, I'm going to assume, because I try to stay up to date politics wise, but I don't really dive into it because in the end, who cares? There's powers behind every, government out there. Scripture says it is, the Prince of Persia, Prince of Greece, that sort of thing. So to me, in the end, they're all in bed with each other. They're all worshiping the same demons. So who gives a shit? Anywho. Also, I didn't even watch any clips of the Mark Zuckerberg and Joe Rogan clips because, dude, I'm sorry, Zuck is fake as shit. I'll throw a couple sympathy points at him just because the government coming in to silence him and stuff, but I don't care. You're not winning me over with anything. Zuckerberg's about face has also included publicly slamming Democrats and accusing them of forcing him to censor conservative voices. Well, I mean, not just him, though, but they did. The whole cancel culture thing was indeed censorship. We've seen it plenty of times with different people out there. Besides Zuckerberg, Apple and Google have also come out in favor in MAGA. Oh, what a bunch of bitches, with both groups donating millions to the Trump campaign. Now, he possibly could maybe do something to probe them. Lizard Man's got crocodile tears. Yep. Oh man, Google and Apple coming out. Oh, we never meant anything. Yeah. Just remember, at the end of the day, these are the people who thought they were clever abusers, thinking that, well, we know where to hide them bruises. We know where to punch you and kick you, and or your drug users where it's oh, inject the needle, inject the needle between my toes so I don't leave tracks. These are these people. They think they're clever, but they're just disgusting and evil. So both Apple and Google are coincidentally attempting to block Sweeney from selling games on iPhones and Android devices, and Sweeney believes their rebranding as MAGA is a cynical attempt to get the incoming administration on their side. I mean, yeah, I'll agree with that. Of course they're going to suck up to him because, again, I mean, I would say in terms of the a pendulum effect of cancel culture, all that stuff, we saw it begin, I would say, around obviously 2016 when Trump became president. Everyone just went crazy. So we saw the pendulum swing really hard the other way. Now it's swinging back the other way, a lot harder, I would say, and a lot more quicker. More, or would it be quicker? I don't think that's grammatically correct. More quick. I suck at grammar. I are not good with grammar. But anyway, also of note with corporations seemingly dropping support for liberal politics is Walt Disney's decision to remove any and all woke material from shows and films currently in production. What is that phone? Quiet. This has included removing trans characters from at least 2 spin-off shows, removing environmentalist themes from a different project, and removing key bits of dialogue from their upcoming live-action Snow White film. I think on one of the articles, I was like kind of browsing around, like seeing what caught my interest. I think one was like, what was it? The mountain ride that they replaced with Tayu's Booyah or something. Or maybe that's not even right. I stopped watching Disney like quite a while ago. The Princess and the Frog. I thought I saw an article talking about how like there was an attraction that's in Disneyland or Disney World, and they're trying to remove the voodoo element of that stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, just leave it. The word would be swift or immediate. Anywho, it would appear that at the top, Disney doesn't care at all about politics. Bullshit. Though many brighter employees were sincere and unhappy with the new developments and will bend the knee to whichever demographic it feels is more powerful at the time. Which to me doesn't make sense, because if you're talking about who has the more power, like Disney is insanely powerful. So you honestly think that like if they won against the Dems, that those groups out there would crush them? Now let's be real, like Disney World down in Florida is gay as shit. Like there's a bunch of degenerates and disgusting freaks down there who, walk around the park with, shirts that says "One day my prince will come," and like CUM. They're wearing shirts like that when there's kids around. So let's honestly be real here. If they're allowing that, then we know kind of what Disney sides with. As big tech follows Disney's example, Tim Sweeney has continued to criticize what he sees as the cynical opportunism behind their new politics. And then pretty much Niche Gamer just asking what you guys think about it. Princess and the Frog movie had a controversy in which children began to die by kissing frogs. Is that real? Oh my gosh. That's a parent's issue. Because if you can't tell your kids, look, sweetie, buddy, hey, it's just a movie. Don't go around kissing frogs. Then there's also the fact they tried to trademark Day of the Dead in Coco. But there you go. I do agree with him that like definitely big tech will suck up to anybody, whichever side is politically in power. But at the end of the day, they're all in the same blood orgy. So, but it's also a dog-eat-dog world too. So we're seeing that happening with, in the video game industry with like, what was it, Mercante and Adam Sessler or something like that. Or like even now he's being like, dude, this bitch is crazy or something like that. I didn't really read into it that much just because they're both scumbags at the end of the day. Wha-bam. But speaking of, Disney and embracing pride and stuff, this comes from that Park Place that caught my eye. Video game corruption exposed. Games for Diversity appears caught in heinous scheme for radical pride agenda. So a shocking revelation has come to light regarding the practices of games, that would be For Diversity, a Dutch company. No, Dutch, that's my ancestors. What are you doing, Dutch? No! The Netherlands, why? With ties to the Powell Group and Sweet Baby Inc., that claims to promote inclusion in gaming but appears to operate under questionable methods. That Park Place is reporting on the findings of an investigation by prominent, entertainment analysts. So, recently exposed by the Gothic Therapy YouTube channel, that would be Master of the TDS and Writing Raven, dual, husband and wife, the company is under fire for allegedly publishing a deeply flawed research study in 2014 that flew under the radar until now. The study has been labeled by critics as biased propaganda rather than legitimate science. First off, what is legitimate science? I mean, let's be real here. We're seeing, it's still called the Big Bang Theory, even though everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's how it happened. And it's like, well, then why is it called the theory? Why don't you call it the Big Bang Law? Or don't they just call it the Big Bang? What's more, it uses children as guinea pigs and exposes them to games that focus on preferred orientation and mature issues. For the sake of transparency, Writing Raven is contributing writer for that Park Place under the name Raven Redgrave. Ooh. So at the center of the controversy is Menno van Peltedien, the head of the Games for Diversity and the researcher responsible for the study in question. The research, published on Google Scholar, it's the first time I've heard of that. Is that like Google's version of what's, legitimate? Analyzed games design process during the organization's Pride-centric game jams. While the surface-level goal was to explore how diverse perspectives influence game development, a deeper dive in the study reveals glaring methodological flaws. Methodological flaws. I don't know. I would look this word up when I'm stumbling on the word, but fuck it. I'm lazy. So Master of the TDS, a therapist and one of Gothic Therapy's hosts, emphasized the gravity of the situation. Haven't watched a TDS video just yet, but I just might after hearing you read about this. So as a therapist, I know very well what peer-reviewed sources are, he said. A peer-reviewed source means a lot of people have looked at it. It means it's much more valid than any other source. The fact that this was allowed to be published and has remained up boggled my mind. Because of all the things you have done wrong, it is so biased and skewed that I can't even begin to tell people. The most glaring issue with the research is the absence of a controlled group. By failing to compare diverse teams to non-diverse ones, the study's conclusions are rendered invalid. Instead, participants were handpicked from agenda-friendly websites, academic circles, and similar sources, ensuring a pre-existing bias that skewed results from the outset. I feel like this is how it always is anyway. Like, it just always feels like that way. And I say this with, being conservative. Like, you see this shit happen on the right side, too. Like, the people who still try to push the, video games cause gun violence bullshit. That's been, debunked so many times, but they still try to push it. So, Master of the TDS didn't mince words when addressing the critical flaw. There is no control group, he said with unmistakable disgust in his voice. This guy's a researcher, and there's no control group. They've skewed all the results, and it has been cited 9 times. Every single study that has cited this has cited it as being a peer-reviewed source. This means people with knowledge looked this over, realized that there was no control group, saw that the results... oh my gosh, dude, allergies. Saw the results were skewed, didn't care, and published it as a scholarly article. Or scholarly. Did I say Scolari? The Scolari brothers. Sorry, apparently I had Ghostbusters in my mind. A scholarly article. Oh my god, the Scolari brothers. Scolari brothers, friends of yours? I tried them for murderer. Gave him the chair. Gotta do something. Why don't you just tell him you don't believe in ghosts? The study's content also raised eyebrows. The games showcased during this event were narrowly focused on themes tied to sexual orientation, with children participating in sessions involving such topics. Oh my gosh. The games involved were created during these jams and showcased as part of the study's findings. They center around orientation and gender politics, forcing kids to engage with pride content. The study includes photos of children playing these games. There you go, right there. Oh gosh. Those people outside are causing a bit of a ruckus, aren't they? In the video below, you can see gameplay clips from one of the games involved in the study. It features slurs, mature situation, and coarse language that's not suitable for children. However, Games for Diversity apparently saw no issue with exposing young people to such content. Technically, that was Ghostbusters too. But yes, Ghostbusters is still a classic that holds up. How long is this video? Oh, it's like 50 seconds. All right, queer. Close that. Difficulty selection. Chris, Carla, Casey. Oh, damn. I got to get to... Oh, my gosh. They are zipping through this. Not this one. Too revealing. This looks like it was like made back on Newgrounds, like, you know, Pico School. That's what that guy like reminds me of. Too flamboyant, I guess. This will do. We are here to fight against those who want to redefine homosexual. This says homosexuals are gay. What he says. Well, this is true. It's true in the fact that it is. And it's also true as a slur as well. Slurs, I don't really have a problem. They can call us homophobic, prejudiced, bigots, whatever they like. I know how to call them faggots. Ouch. Oh man, and is this a black guy that's saying this? Uh-oh. Not very diverse of you, Games for Diversity. So you could respond by saying ... ouch, do you have any respect? That is truly insulting. Well, I would pick A, because there's no like there's no option to like showcase laughing because it's funny. That's ridiculous. How can you be so mean? And you, well, I am sure you hate them as much as I... Wait, what? As much as I do. ... Why do you hate people? Get away from me. I'm like confused at what's happening. So is this guy supposed to be gay, and he went up to like these people that are like, oh, we hate fags or whatever, and like, get away from me. What the fuck, Chris? It's 7:15 a.m. This music, I don't want to get copyright struck. Those people outside are causing a bit of a ruckus, aren't they? I'm not to blame in this situation. I'm reasonable considering the circumstances. Maybe you could be more respectful, so I have to be quiet, but others can be loud. I don't even like, I'm confused at what you're like. Are you responding to? I feel like there's parts of this video that got like cut out because I feel like we're missing something because this kid wasn't even there. Not to blame in the situation. It is such a shame. You are a very attractive... Wait, that's a woman? Okay. How is this a work conversation? I don't have to be anything for you. I don't think this is any of your business. ... So it's passive. I feel like all my responses would be just ... Mostly because I'm confused. I'm like, what is going on? I am normal. I am. Name, Casey. Performance. You are fired. Paycheck. $879. Your mood. Sad and upset. My mood would be giddy and annoyed. All right, here's your team queer. Here are your freaks that designed this. Thomas, I'm not going to read their names. Giuseppe. To quote the Lorax, that thing is a woman. Let's play I Identify. Oh gosh, it like jumped to the next one. I think that's enough. That's more than enough for me. Oh my goodness gracious. What have we become? The highly specific nature of these games calls into question the inclusivity Games for Diversity claims to champion. So master of the TDS and writing Raven went so far as to call the study propaganda. Without a varied sample, objective methodology. There we go. I think I said it. Methodology. There we go. I did it. Are proper controls. They argue that the findings lack credibility. How many other studies have been affected by this faulty, disgusting, terrible piece of propaganda? Master of the TDS asked. Because that's what this is. This is not a study. This is propaganda. The only way I can explain this is that you did it intentionally. There's no other explanation. If you're a researcher of any validity, you should know better. It is a playlist of 29 videos. Oh boy. Oh dear Lord. The fact that this study has been cited 9 times only deepens concerns about its influence on academic and industry discussions. The publication's presence on Google Scholar lends it a veneer of legitimacy that critics argue it does not deserve. And then Games for Diversity also made waves for its hand in helping to create a mobile game marketed to children about a magic drag queen performer as part of its game jam system. Yeah, I remember seeing this. And then the Gothic Therapy hosts have vowed to keep investigating, exposing any further misconduct. And then Menno van Peltdien's continued involvement in projects related to children, particularly in areas involving sensitive topics, has drawn sharp criticism. While no direct accusation has been made, Gothic Therapy has made it clear that they will not hesitate to act if further issues arise. The expose serves as a reminder to scrutinize organizations and their research claims carefully. When inclusion is used as a shield for poorly executed studies and propaganda, the industry and the very communities they claim to support suffer the most. And then, are you surprised to see companies exposing young children to content like this? No, I am not surprised. They've been doing this for quite a while, and it's quite disgusting. So also from that, Park Place, U.S. companies rushed to dismantle DEI programs before Trump's inauguration, and that's a beautiful thing. So in an unexpected corporate pivot, several major U.S. companies are hurriedly dismantling their diversity, equity, and inclusion programs ahead of the second inauguration of President Donald J. Trump. The strategic retreat of ideological captured companies comes in light of the incoming administration's vocal opposition to what they described as, quote, woke culture and, quote, anti-white racism, with DEI initiatives at the forefront of their critique. Now, let's honestly be real, because I think Kirsch has been reporting and talking about this. It may seem like they're trying to do this, but I believe I'm with her from the little stuff I've watched with her. I'm trying to keep up, but anyway, I think they're trying to repackage it. I think it's still there, but they're trying to repackage it so that the spotlight stops getting shown on it. And that's where you have to be more resilient in making sure, to expose that darkness. And because they're claiming they're all trying to do this, but, trying to change everything, which, I mean, it's great that they're feeling the pressure, but we still have to make sure that they're not trying to, just name it as something else and relabel it. What's more, they have the law and a recent Supreme Court decision on their side. What is this? The Nexus mod of Donald Trump as Captain America in Marvel Rivals? No. There you go. So since Donald Trump announced his intention to terminate every diversity, equity, and inclusion program across the entire federal government during the course of his campaign, corporate America has been on high alert, with corporate lawyers scrubbing language and policy. The next Trump administration's policy blueprint has explicitly targeted DEI initiatives in all institutions and corporations that have incorporated them. Again, it sounds great, but you know damn well they are trying to just repackage it and relabel it just to see if it can slip through the cracks. This includes labeling them as woke culture warriors and promising legal action against those deemed to violate civil rights laws by engaging in what they perceive as reverse discrimination. Expectation is that even those who charge preemptively may have to answer for those violations as well. Corporate response to self-imposed crisis. In response, companies like Walmart, Ford, Amazon, McDonald's, and Meta have begun to scale back or completely remove their DEI policies. Walmart, for instance, announced the cessation of its DEI goals, dropping the term from its corporate lexicon altogether. Similarly, Meta has dissolved its DEI team and ended its equity and inclusion training programs that studies have shown are incredibly divisive whenever and wherever they're deployed. The wave of retractions, renames, and rebrands is not limited to these corporations. Posts on platforms like X have captured the sentiment, with users noting that companies are dumping their policies because they know the Trump Justice Department will investigate and prosecute them. This will certainly surprise no one, as the president-elect has expressly stated that in the past. And then avoiding litigation. Oh, man. I did hear about like Hulk Hogan getting booed on Raw. When you're in like one of the hearts of liberal retardation. But Terry, Hulk here, Terry, he's a scumbag. I've been getting into more wrestling lately, mostly because I found all the like WCW episodes from the past, from like, 1995 to like 2000 and WWF. So I started watching those again. Oh man. I miss those days. So the obvious motivation behind these actions appears to be a desire to avoid the potential of destructive litigation in a PR nightmare that would damage any company's reputation and give talking points to competitors. Trump's first term was marked by an executive order against race and sex stereotyping and scapegoating, which was seen as an initial strike against DEI programs. This time, with a more aggressive stance, companies fear facing lawsuits under the guise of reverse discrimination or violation of Title, what is that, 7 of the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. That fear is well-founded in that future administration appointees have publicly stated that the elimination of DEI is a top priority. The legality of many DEI programs have been a contentious topic, with groups like America First Legal, founded by former Trump administration's officials, already challenged corporate diversity efforts in court. We will never stop working to make sure Disney is a welcome place for all. See, this is retarded. Just kind of as a side note here with Disney. We will never stop working to make sure Disney is a welcome place for all. It was already a welcoming place. Like, this is what I don't get. This was not an issue. What does displaying your stupid gayness have to do with anything? These people act like, diversity, homosexuality, transgenderism, all this stuff is like some special, unique recipe, like ingredients that'll make your recipe like delicious or something like that. And it's like, it does absolutely nothing. Like, there is no difference between a straight guy baking a cake and a gay guy making a cake, Now, if there was like cyanide in the cake or something, then that's a problem. Like, I hate this crap. It's so stupid because it was never a problem to begin with. And the people who said there was a problem are the people that made the problem. That's the catch-22 of all this garbage. And again, it comes back to a question I've thrown out there for a while and have yet to get an answer from the people who support DEI and stuff, is how does being a racist and a bigot fight against racism and bigotry and XYZ? Because this is what these people do every single time. I give them the benefit of the doubt of the fact that a broken clock is right at least twice a day if it doesn't have like AM and PM attached to it. You know? Ugh. These groups argue that such programs promote racial quotas, which are illegal under current U.S. employment law and under the aforementioned Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. On the other hand, leftist civil rights activists like the ACLU have warned that dismantling DEI would undo decades of progress towards race-driven lowest common denominator of equality. Number one, no, it wouldn't. Number two, dude, the opportunity to do whatever you want is out there. Stop making excuses and just go fucking do it. It's amazing. If only there was a concept to where, you know, your race, your religion, your sexual orientation or whatever didn't matter, and you were just hired based on like your skill and your merits. Wouldn't that be amazing? I feel like this is a foreign concept, though. But I think that concept is just silly. I'm a big silly. Corporate strategy and public perception. Companies are not just reacting to the legal risks of DEI under a second Trump term, but also the broader political and social climate. Simply put, the pendulum is swinging back to common sense, which I think is good. The shift is seen by some as corporations aligning with not only the new administration's direction, but with the consumer sentiment as well. They're hoping to avoid becoming targets in a culture war that could extend in the boardrooms and global governments. But here's the thing. You know, some companies, they're pretending to be on their side while secretly trying to still do that stuff, just repackaging it, renaming it, all that stuff. We used to live in a time where people were hired because of merit and physical being available to help work and physically being able to help you. Yep. However, this move has sparked a debate on both sides about whether businesses are retreating for their incredible, unpopular virtue signaling commitments to the corrupt social justice sham in favor of political expensity and deflection of previous bad behavior. Arguments can be made from both perspectives, and yet either way, more and more ideological captured and titles are now in fear of previous illegal policies. So the dismantling of DEI programs could have long-term effect on corporate culture, employment opportunities for those being discriminated against by these policies, and their overall fight for merit-based workplaces as required by law. While the reasonable and law-abiding see this as a necessary adjustment to legal realities, others view it as a step backwards from feeling-based outcomes. As Trump prepares to take office, the business community certainly watches close, wondering if it's the beginning of the new era, blah, 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 blah. There's no doubt about, as January 20th, 2025 approaches, the corporate landscape is visibly changed. Verbal writing is on the wall when it comes to the Trump administration and DEI. Companies are making calculated decisions to eliminate it, driven by fear of litigation and looming enforcement of established law and a desire to navigate the new political and consumer landscape unscathed. So the question remains whether this retreat is a strategic maneuver or a permanent-based recalibration of corporate America remains to be seen. I think it's a combination of both. I think some corporations will hopefully have woken up and been like, yeah, we need to get rid of all this because we aren't making money from it. We're losing money. I think some companies like that, and I think some people will try to strategically pretend that, oh, yeah, we'll change it and then try to do stuff, which... The unfortunate thing is some company is going to be made an example. Well, I say unfortunate, but not really. Some company is going to be made an example, and hopefully it will be enough to ripple out throughout and have it be brought back to common sense, to where you just hire someone based on their skill and their merit. That's it. What's up, Komanga? So there you go. But yeah, this is, I mean, it's like, Smash JT and Alyssa Mercante's, lawsuit thing. Like, Mercante needs to lose, and hopefully that will send a message across that, don't be a fucking idiot. Like, there's going to be some people out there that just will not understand and not learn. And so they have to, unfortunately, pay for it with their pockets. But you'll hear no weeping from me when Mercante loses. Like, that is a prime example, especially in the video game industry, of like what the article said about, what was it? Like the feel. It was nicely worded. Where was it? Like the feel good mentality, which doesn't work. Because I used to be like that. I used to be growing up, and with ADHD, depression, and autism and whatnot. So I grew up very, very expressive with my emotion, and a lot of it was not right. Was not thinking right at all. These people want you to return to that childhood mentality. This is why they're violent all the time. Because they don't know how to control their emotions. And when you do that, then you get things just going completely crazy. And the worst part is you're going to piss off the wrong person who will be more angry and violent against you than what you think you're doing in the sense of social justice and stuff. And you're going to get your shit kicked in really, really hard. Trump's got him scared. Heading off to get something to eat. Hope to chat again soon. Got some stuff to take care of. If only I woke up earlier this evening. It's all good, brother. Can't wait for Canada, Mexico, and Greenland becoming part of the United States. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's see here. I've got a couple more articles here, and we're kind of getting close to kind of like the benchmark I usually do, but we'll keep going. Players overwhelmingly vote to keep RPG video game character genders male and female in online poll from Lords of the Fallen developer. This also caught headway too. And yes, like male and female. This is absolutely retarded because in the end, the body type A is the male and the body type B is the female or whatever, which in the end, then why even name it? It's completely pointless. It's like the pronouns in Starfield when that all came out and people were trying to be like, oh, it defaults to like, if you picked a male, it defaults it to he, he, him and stuff. And it doesn't even affect the story. And it's like, okay, well, if it's so minuscule, then it didn't need to be changed to begin with. See, that's the thing. If it really doesn't make that big of an impact to the story, to, this, to with that, then it didn't need to be touched to begin with. Because male and female is based in reality and common sense. Body type A and body type B is gay as hell. So Marek Tymiński of CI Games, developer of the Lords of the Fallen, recently stirred up debate in the gaming community with a poll addressing gender selection in a medieval fantasy RPG and a promise to abide by the result for future projects. So there it is right there. The poll posed the following question to gamers. In a medieval fantasy action RPG experience, what do you prefer to choose between? We will follow the final results. And here you go. The options were body type A to body type B, male or female, or none of the above. So body type A and B is seen as the, quote, gender politics option. It allows players to select traditional masculinity or feminine body type without assigning gender to it. This option is typically paired with mandatory pronoun selections. Lords of the Fallen infamously used the gender model previously. So there's your results. There you go. The results, with 46,791 participants voting, were stark and undeniable. 88% male and female, 8.7 body type A/body type B, and none of the above. We all know the people who voted none of the above didn't really probably care about the poll or were just trolling. We know that. This 8.7 probably did this out of spite because they're ass mad that they're losing. That means roughly 71,176 people selected male or female, and that 4,070 people select body type A and B, and 1,590 people selected none of the above. So this overwhelmingly trajectory of body type A and B sends a very clear message to the gaming development community. It demonstrates a strong player preference for traditional male and female character selection. See, I don't even like this use of traditional male and female. It's male and female. That's it. The end. It also aligns with the backlash seen recently with other games attempting to implement politically charged features. Perhaps the most prominent example of player rejection of such features is BioWare's Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Launched to critical fanfare from virtual signaling outlets, the game suffered major commercial disappointment. It placed a heavy emphasis on progressive gender ideology. This included mixing male and female voices with varying body types. Wait, so a male voice being a female voice, but wanting to be male, so he could have just been a male to begin? What's up, Captain Falcon? Thursday, let's go. Yep, for Nintendo Switch. Supposedly. We'll see if it's true. Selecting pronouns and even adding top surgery scars. Oh my gosh. Controversial inclusion, which again, this whole thing doesn't make sense at all. Like having transgenderism in games, because if every transgender's dream is to be what they think they should be, the opposite sex, 100% to the T, to where no one would know because they just want to be left alone, and, accepted and whatnot, then you wouldn't be displaying this stuff. You would just be blending into the crowd. So this is a self-defeating thing. It makes no sense. By having top surgery scars and all that bullshit, it showcases that they know they're putting on an act. They know they're putting on an act, and they just want attention for themselves because they're narcissists. So Veilguard performed poorly overall, with both sale figures and player retention painting a bleak picture. And then you got your sales performance, your refund rates, and then your trade-in value. Oh gosh, the physical copies of the game rapidly lost value. GameStop and other retailers listed the trade-in value at a paltry $22 within days of release. Oh no, an unusually low figure for a newly released AAA game. This drop-off in value reflected both low demands and the game's failure to resonate players. It was so low that over at Tech for Gamers, they slashed the price to just $40 just after 2 months after release. That was another article I had pulled up. So refund rates, reliable sources indicated over 30,000 refunds were issued shortly after the game's launch. Oh my gosh. And then sales performance, only sold 1.5 million units. Below EA's lofty expectation on 10 million copies. Player response for Tominski's poll mirrors the commercial outcome of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Players appear to be pushing back against games that prioritize modern political messaging over immersive storytelling and gameplay. Simply put, players didn't want gender politics in a medieval RPG. And the thing about this is again, this is why they're always going to an established franchise. This is why they're always rebooting or remaking an established franchise for the modern audience, is so they can fist this stuff in, because they know if they made a game specifically about that stuff, it would fail. And it did. It's called Dustborn. It's called Concord. They know that stuff doesn't sell. They're so uncreative unoriginal, and fucking tourists that they think that just Control C, all the hard work and effort put into, creators, writers. Let's see, Matt Jones, Maria Jones, a male lead, a female lead. It's like, gosh. And then you get retards that contact Sweet Baby Inc. to help us with our story, and that's probably what they really do. Is literally that. Does the result of the poll on gender selection in an RPG surprise you? Will the game industry learn any lessons from the fans' vocal demands? I would like to think so, but I think a AAA studio needs to crash and burn. And I put my money on Ubisoft. Like, Ubisoft has gladly taken that mantle. Because Assassin's Creed Shadows, I cannot wait for that sucker to burn. Concord Jelly is awesome. But like I kind of hinted to, Dragon Age Veilguard price was slashed to now $40 over just 2 months after the release. Majority poll revealed 90% of the players didn't enjoy the game. Following that, it was voted as the most disappointing game of 2024. Developers refused to give updates on sales because they're a bunch of cucks. Now, Dragon Age of Veilguard price has been slashed by $30, which further supports the poor sales reports. There you go. $40 to save a battered world. How about to save a battered game? Because this game got its shit kicked in before it was even launched because on how garbage it is. Why does this matter? Dragon Age is one of the most iconic and massive series in the gaming industry. Yep, that's why they had to bastardize it. So the reception, its latest games reception. What? Oh my gosh. Dude, I am not the best person when it comes to grammar and spelling. And yet, how do you not catch this? So the reception, its latest game's reception. Proofread your shit. Say it out loud. Again, I'm not the best example for that, but for heaven's sakes, what are you doing? On Amazon and Best Buy, the game's standard edition price has been slashed by $30, meaning it's now available for just $40. So you can buy the physical copy. I don't care when you can buy it. It's just a 43% discount. And then the game's deluxe edition on Amazon is almost half the price. So you can get that sucker at $50 instead of that whomping $90. But you dropping $50 even on this already being slashed in half, you need a shock therapy. While the director blamed the hate campaign for Veilguard's failure, fans have pointed out various things that caused it to flop, one of which was a heavy focus on DEI. Alrighty, let's hop into it. The Nintendo Switch 2 reveal reportedly set for this week. This also comes for Tech for Gamers. So the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors have picked up the pace over the last 2 weeks, revealing various details about the console, including the presence of DLSS, the Tegra T239 SoC, and comparison against the PS4 Pro. While nobody has been able to say much about the exact reveal date, Nintendo previously confirmed that the new hardware would be announced by March 2025, and it seems the time is nearly here. We're still like a good month and a half away, I guess you could say. Reliable Insider says a full look at the console is coming this week. Why it matters. The Nintendo Switch has been going strong for over 7 years, and fans are now ready to make the leap to more capable hardware. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't even have a Nintendo Switch, then obviously getting the Switch 2 will be good. But, is the juice worth the squeeze? If all you're getting is just better hardware and your original Nintendo Switch hasn't crapped out, You know, is it worth it? It is backwards compatible. Like, if I could trade in, like, if it cut the price in half to where I could trade in my Nintendo Switch and get it at a reasonably priced, or get enough money to help go towards a Nintendo Switch 2, maybe. I don't know. But as you can see here by Nate the Hate, this is a quote, and he says, or she, I'm assuming it's a he, and I'm sticking to it. I don't give a fuck if I offend anybody. I have been told that the Switch 2 will be revealed on January 16th, my brother's birthday. Since then, other reputed sources have verified the reports. Ooh. As per insiders, it is said that Nintendo will not focus on games during the first reveal on January 16th. Instead, the first look will be all about the hardware. Fans can expect another showcase dedicated to the game's ladder, revealing the full launch lineup. This also means that the hardware is likely several months away from release. Till then, fans can continue enjoying everything that Nintendo has offered over the last few years on the original Switch. So there you guys go. Apparently, sounds like they verified the reports and that something will be talked about on January 16th. I also got a Video Game Chronicle article pulled up too. Let's see if they have added any additional information. So again, it's been revealed that Thursday, January 16th is when this Nintendo Switch 2 will be revealed. This is according to a previously reliable podcast, Nate the Hate, which claims that a reveal trailer planned by Nintendo will focus on the Switch 2 hardware. Ooh. With a software showcase coming later in late February or early March. I can share with you that Nintendo Switch 2 will be revealed in the coming week. I've been told Switch 2 will be revealed on Thursday, January 16th, just a few days from now, they said. I've heard that the reveal itself is going to focus almost exclusively on the console itself. There's not going to be any presence of games. There could be a game shown running on the screen, depending on how the trailer is put together, but software is not going to be a focus. What if they just blurred it out, kind of like how you see in those drama shows where it's a witness or, someone going on the record but wanting to be hidden, and it's just like a pixelated it's just a pixelated screen with like a voice changer. I've heard that the reveal itself I've read that the 2-part reveal plan excuse me, would align with how Nintendo showed the original Nintendo Switch and match with what VGC has been told about Nintendo's plans for the Switch 2 reveal. Has it been confirmed that it's actually called the Nintendo Switch 2? I haven't seen anything about that yet. So Switch was first announced with the hardware-focused trailers back in 2016, which was then followed by a full reveal the following January, and then where games and release info were announced. Although Nintendo didn't formally announce games in the first reveal, titles such as Mario Odyssey was shown running. And the Hate speculates that the Switch 2 could launch in May or June of this year, which matches with what VGC has heard from its own sources, and that a new version of Mario Kart, could be available at launch, followed by a 3D Mario release during the holiday period of 2025. Hold on. Apparently I'm hiccuping. Third-party releases will be reportedly including Final Fantasy VII Remake. And also, according to Nate the Hate, Ubisoft is planning to release Assassin's Creed Mirage for their Switch 2. Okay, who gives a shit? And Konami will port Metal Gear Solid Delta. Ooh. Now, part of me wants to get the new Metal Gear Solid Delta for a PS5, even though I don't have one, just to keep up with my collection, because I have all the PlayStation versions of Metal Gear Solid. Except Twin Snakes, but that was for the Cube. But I played it. Nintendo has previously confirmed plans to reveal its next console during its current fiscal year, which ends in March 2025. Is that Nate the Hate? Is that him? Or oh wait, no, that's just VGC. Or it could be And then VGC reported in the summer of 2023 that the console was already in the hands of key development partners, and the Nintendo was targeting a 2024 launch. However, it's thought to have been delayed eternally to avoid shortages, and it's now widely expected to hit the shelves this year. Switch 2 has been the subject of a deluge of alleged leaks this month, mostly originating from CES in Las Vegas. And the center of this is accessory maker Genki, which showed what it claims to be an accurate replica of the Nintendo's next system. And then supposed images of the Switch 2's Joy-Con also made its way online this month. If authenticated, the corroborated previews claims that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons will be slightly larger and featured a magnetic connection. And didn't they actually? I thought I saw something that actually came after Genki, and he had to give like his makes or like destroy him or something. And earlier alleged images of Switch 2's internal hardware components appeared on Reddit. If accurate, the images appear to confirm previous hardware spec rumors, suggesting that the new console will again be powered by NVIDIA hardware. So there you guys go. That is what we have on the Nintendo Switch 2, which will be revealed this Thursday. Well, I'm not like super excited about it, but I will be interested to see what it has to offer. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's wind down and let's check out what games came out around this time on this day throughout the years. We'll jump over to Game Facts. I did have this article real quick about Lunar Remastered Collection. Apparently is going to be launched in April. It's the new remastered set of the original 2 Lunar role-playing games. My biggest fear is that what did they do to censor it? Apparently, you can get physical copies through Amazon and also in Europe. So Amazon, Clear River Games, apparently. Physical versions of the games will include exclusive reversible covers featuring a new key arts for Lunar Silver Star Stored Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete, both illustrated by original artist Toshiyuki Kubuoka. There you go. And then just like some information about what that is. And then, of course, there's also the Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remastered coming. But anyway, yeah, Tennis. 41 years ago, Tennis was released for the NES. Hey, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. There you go. Some may not like it. I mean, Death Mountain is hard, but once you get past that, it's not too shabby. But I play that game. It was fine for what it was, in my opinion. Let's see. What else? ESP Winter X Games Snowboarding 2002. Oh, if anybody's Doc Hack / Quarantine Part 4. That came out apparently 21 years ago. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. Gladiators Begins for the PSP. Last Window, The Secret of Cape West. Don't know what that is. I still don't get what these why these are in bold. Not exactly sure why, but they are. Oh gosh, WWE Immortals. And then, of course, I love all these. Clearly the current ones. I don't know any of those. Okay. Biggest one, obviously, is that Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Then we can hop over to Moby Games, and that's more of a spread out around the world sort of thing. So again, you got Tennis, you got Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Super Fantasy Zone for the Genesis for Japan. I don't know what that is. The title caught my eye. Ooh, Magic the Gathering, Duels of the Planeswalker, version 3.0 for Windows. I actually remember back in middle school, I got like a Magic the Gathering disc. I don't think it was this, but I remember it kind of explained how to play the game. It was like really corny, and like one of them was like, what is it, Big Rabbit or something? I wonder if I can find that. That might be like on YouTube or something. Ooh, Bass Landing for Japan. Dynasty Warriors 3, the Extreme Edition for the PlayStation 2 was released. Dynasty Warriors 3 was my very first PlayStation 2 game when my folks got me and my brother the PlayStation 2. They got him Grand Theft Auto 3, like legit uncensored one. So we got that one, and then I got Dynasty Warriors 3. Or am I thinking of Dynasty Warriors 4? I feel like it's 3. I might be mistaken. Apparently, THQ acquires developer Big Huge Games. The Dynasty. Aw, yeah. THQ. They made some of the best wrestling games. THQ, man. Ooh, Biohazard, The Dark Side Chronicles, the collector's package for the Wii version was in Japan. Don't Die Dateless, dummy. An XNA indie release for the 360. You heard him. Don't Die Dateless, dummy. Ooh, BioShock, the Ultimate Rapture Edition. Be nice if I don't slur my words. That's for the 360. That came out in the United States. Very nice. Odin Sphere. I heard that was actually a pretty good game. That's the PSV Vita version for Japan. Leftharser. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but all right. Now we're getting into like when games start sucking. I've learned that beyond 2016 down, be prepared to like not see very solid like standout games. You know, unless you're into like Hold That Phone or Hold the Phone. Super Mega Space Blaster Special Turbo. For the Linux. Ooh. I've always been curious to check out Linux. I heard once you can kind of understand it, it's pretty solid. Scott Pilgrim vs. World, the game complete edition, the Stadia version worldwide. I actually heard that the Scott Pilgrim game's pretty good. I actually like the fighting style because I think it was Shredder's Revenge made that same thing. And did Return of Rita, that new Power Ranger game, was that made by them too? Kind of want to check that out. We've been playing X-Men 2. X-Men Legends 2, Rise of the Apocalypse. That's a dope game. I actually got the copy over here, and I also apparently I've had X-Men on the mind, but my brother had a copy of this, but I picked up like the complete edition. Not in the best collection, but you know, I already had it digitally, so plus with the PC you can mod everything and get like all the characters from all the different versions. But I also got supposedly a very gory and bloody game, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the Uncaged Edition, still in shrink wrap for PC. So, very cool. I saw a little bit of that. I remember seeing that back in the day, and like people were talking about how insane it was. People were saying that's actually a pretty solid game. But that's pretty much it. But there we are. So fun stuff. We learned a good chunk today. Hopefully you guys did too. So that will be, whoops. As you can see, I'm using my ending screen as my background because like ending is small enough to where I can like have up the articles and stuff like that. Because I have starting, short break and stuff. So the text is built into it from the pack I downloaded. So otherwise I would just customize it. So didn't mean to do that, but boomer moment. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream today. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said in the beginning, we are on YouTube, or we were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. We still will be. I don't know, unless something happens. But yes, good chunk of stuff today. So the next Power Up podcast will be on Thursday. So probably we'll talk about what was revealed for the Nintendo Switch 2. So you don't want to miss that, 8 p.m. Central Time. And we'll continue playing X-Men Legends 2, Rise of the Apocalypse. And then we'll either hop into that Wolverine game, but I did also get for Christmas, I know it's been out a couple months, but Mario and Luigi Brothership. I do love the Mario and Luigi series, and regardless of what some people said, heard it was pretty solid. Some people said it was like too easy, but those games kind of are meant to be that way. So maybe we'll start up that. But in any case, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. You guys have a good rest of your night. Let's see. Is there anybody that we can like redirect over on YouTube or Rumble? Oh, Vara Dark's online. Go give her some support. We'll go ahead and raid her. And then is there anybody else like on Rumble that I know? Not that I'm aware of. All right. In any case, you guys have a good rest of your night. Thanks for your support. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. But I am humbled and blessed that you guys help support the channel in any way. But yes, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. So, till then, peace.